Morning.
I'm so excited for today.
Mhm.
It'll be great. Okay, so for those of you who do not know Tanya Van Rickley, I've gotten to know you for the last 3 years, maybe. It's gone by.
Yes.
And Laura and I, so we're all in this coaching mastermind and we kind of met each other. I feel like, people who get to a certain production level and coaching level, leadership level, it's really hard to have like a safe place where you can vent or bounce ideas off of or go, how can I motivate my team? Like, what is going on? And so she kind of created this space where all of us can kind of mastermind and vent and say what's going on and share ideas. And we're from all over the country, which is really cool. And come to find out, she's a John Maxwell certified coach. She's certified in DISC. She's brilliant when it comes to leadership and motivation. And she taught my group how to, what was it? How to have a team that you don't have to babysit.
How to lead a team that you don't have to babysit.
Yes. And I was like, I need all of this in my life. And so I'm really excited to have her on today because she's going to share, yes, you can do production and she's brilliant at that, but like the leadership, the mindset, that a lot of people are burnt out. A lot of people have listings that are sitting. And so it's really cool to have that different perspective. Thank you so much for being here, Tanya.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, and you have such a really cool story. So for those of you who don't know her, I would love for you, Tanya, just to kind of share, how did you get here? What was you? I know that you had like a life thing happen to where you were like, okay, it's time to shift, time to be more present. Kind of share how you were before success and how you got here.
Well, I got into real estate when my son was 6 months old. My daughter was two in San Diego, and they're now 23 and 25. So, sold in San Diego, top producer, worked for Keller Williams. I also worked for Chris Heller, the former CEO of Keller Williams. And as a matter of fact, our daughters went to kindergarten together. So, I have been around some amazing leaders, and I've been around some really poor, toxic leaders. And so leadership has always been like something that has always been on my mind. When they say like God gives you gifts, right? What are your spiritual gifts or what are your God-given talents? I was captain of all my basketball, my softball teams, and even in, high school. And I realized that I am a natural born leader, not because I know everything, but because I love people, right? And I love to win. Like my personality is a DI and an ID, which I don't like to win alone. I like to win together. So anyway, so that was 23 years ago. Ended up moving from San Diego to Colorado Springs. My son had a mental health crisis, and I moved here to save his life, and it saved my life. It was a life reset. And so, in the meantime, Keller Williams asked me to be a team leader. And I'm like, nope, I lost everything in the crash. We were top producers. I don't want to get back in real estate. I don't like real estate. I don't want to be around realtors. I did a long time. And they're like, no, Tanya, Colorado Springs needs you. They need someone that's has leadership, someone that has disc. And I was like, okay, let me meet these people. And it was like a hard no for me actually. But then when I met the leaders, okay, and I sat in front across from these leaders, I'm like, you know what? I'm saying yes, not because I want to do this. It's because I want to be led by them because leaders need leaders. They were godly men. They were great leaders. They were humbly confident. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to learn from them. And by learning from them, then I can serve other people. So fast forward, I ran a Keller Williams. It had, I don't know, 114 agents, mega teams. And I found that my leadership certification and disc certification was so needed there. Everybody, real estate can be such a cutthroat industry. Like everybody's like, wanting to hurt everybody. There's scarcity mindset. And I just had an abundant mindset. And I found that by bringing leadership in, it was the one thing that got the 5 to 10% in one room at the same time talking about leadership. So now what I do is I coach full time. I do lots of different things. Um, and I love it. So I coach hundreds of realtors throughout the country. I have a downline. And then I did have a life reset moment. So I'm not sure if you want me to go into that.
Yeah, so you kind of mentioned like you went to save your son and that kind of saved your life and then you also had something major happen to you. And I think that perspective is everything, right? And you had a huge shift in perspective. What happened and how do you look at opportunities now?
So, excuse me. Like many people, I went through divorce. I lost everything in the crash, right? My son had a mental health crisis. I was at the bottom. Like I had to rebuild my life. And right when I got my mojo back, does anyone ever like you're like, all right, I got my mojo back. I got through that. I got through that. I got through that. I moved to Jacksonville Beach as an empty nester, and it was right after I did a 24-hour Go Ruck fitness event, which is like a Green Beret fitness event, carrying guys, carrying women, no sleep. I'm an Ironman triathlete too, so I do crazy extreme things. Um, I was feeling great. And I went into the doctor in November 3.5 years ago, and they walked in after a routine checkup, and then they sent me somewhere because things were off with just starting to work out. My heart rate was high. The doctor walked in and he said, Tanya, it's your lucky day. You have less than 5 years to live. You have 85% blockage in your heart. You will not survive a heart attack. And you have what we call the widowmaker. And you need double bypass heart surgery next week. So that was the moment where I was like, wait a minute, like, what? Like, I just got my mojo back. My son's healthy. I'm feeling great. But that was the moment I was like, wow, I worked so hard and I feel like I had more time, right? So the time was like, man, I'm not done yet. I'm like not done. Like I am gonna leave so much on the table. So, anyways, fast forward, went home, looked in the Bible for me, and I was like, there has to be something that says something about your lucky day. And I saw this verse that said it was Mark 10:49, a version of it that said, it's your lucky day, get up. And that was gave me chills down my spine, saying, you know what? This is gonna be my testimony if God gets me through it. I'm gonna lead better, I'm gonna live better, I'm not gonna leave with scarcity. I never really have. But I'm going to be the best version of myself because as leaders, that leadership is influence, right? We can influence people in the worst way and we can influence people in the best way. Like if you are a person that can influence people, you have to really watch your energy, what you listen to, what you read, who you hang around with. And you are the sum total of those that lead you, and you're the sum total of the people around you. And why not be the person that changes that? So I got through double bypass heart surgery. I feel great. I'm hiking 14ers. I'm doing 12-hour fitness events. God is good. But what that means is I want to lead better, and I lead a lot of teams. And there's a lot of toxic teams out there, and a lot of teams that lead that shouldn't be leaders that need help. And there's a lot of leaders that should be leaders. There's a lot of you guys out there that like think that you couldn't lead because you don't have the capacity to lead or you don't know enough. You should be leading. So don't let anyone tell you that you're not a leader because several of you here are leading. You just need the opportunity and you need to believe in yourself.
Tanya, I have a question for you. So you talk a lot about your mindset, but I know a lot of people have trouble kind of translating that into action. And I feel like a lot of people are going to be able to relate to one of your life events. It sounds like you've kind of had a ball. So
Right.
a
Give
divorce
me
or
another one. Just give me another
a
one.
medical issue, something with your child. Um, can you give some examples of like when you came out of any of those events with a different mindset, whether it was the gratitude mindset or this like kind of a second chance at life, probably? How do you translate that into action?
So, good question. So, how do I translate, have getting knocked down, getting punched in the face, getting back up? How do I take action? Well, one of the ways that I take action is reflection, right? So whenever I was in like a moment of like, wow, again, really, really, God, again, like I just got back up, like I'm looking good, I'm feeling good. The way that I turn it into action is just reflection. Like, what was my part in this, right? Because a lot of times, if it was a financial issue, right? Financial trauma or whatever, relationship trauma, I had to reflect and look in the mirror as a leader, as a human, as a mother, just as a peer. Like, what was I not doing? Right. And then I had, instead of pointing the fingers, like, why me? It's like, what could I be doing differently? And I think that that's the biggest thing for me is I usually take accountability. So it would be accountability and going, was I prospecting, right? Was I doing the right things? Did I have the right people in my mind? Was I working out? And a big one is move more to be more. Because here's the thing is there's so many things that I couldn't control, but what I could control was my body and my mind, and strong body creates a strong mind. And the first thing I did is I fixed my habits. Not all of them, because as an ID, those of you that know DISC and a DI, what does Amanda say? Man, girl, you're all over the place. And I used to, right, Amanda?
There's no S or C. It's all just go, 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 go. We'll figure it out later.
And I used to take offense to that. Like, what are they saying about me? And I have actually, in the last 2 months, have said, you know what? When someone says I'm all over the place, I'm like, thank you. Because I've always been all over the place. I'm a person with variety. But going back to your question, Laura, is move more to be more. I basically started waking up early. I started moving my body. I have a keynote that's called How to Reduce Stress and Improve Health and Happiness with the Life Reset Blueprint. And one of them is I basically moved my body. I moved things out of the way that weren't serving me. So the reflection was, what is not serving me right now? Right? Sometimes there's people in my life I love, and sometimes misery loves company. And around those times, you got a lot of misery, right? And I felt like I had to fire myself. I had to look in the mirror and go, you need to be fired because you're being toxic. The only way you're going to change this is you have to take massive action, Tanya. For me, I get into the Bible, I listen to worship music, I go work out, and then I start just putting people on a shelf, eliminating people out of my life that shouldn't be in my life, or putting people on a shelf and saying, like, no one's coming to save me. Like, I got to do this or it's going to get worse. So I don't know if that answers your question.
No one's coming to save me. That's one for your business, right? Like talk about accountability. That's a deep one. So you lead leaders, which I think is really interesting because it's hard to become a leader, and there's so much of a learning curve, right, in leadership because we're not taught that in school. We read a bunch of books and say a prayer and practice on people, right? And you've come across great leaders and some not so great ones. What's something because there's a lot of team owners on this Zoom and people who have recruited hundreds of people that have a great downline and they're natural leaders. What is something that you see when you spot a leader and you're like, oh, that's going to be a good one? What is something that you really look for or that we should really thrive or pay attention to in having awesome leadership skills?
Well, I would say the first one is integrity, right? Usually people look for leaders because they're like awesome salespeople, right? And they're these D personalities. Like I look for integrity first. My brothers are both retired Green Berets, and I have people that lead me, and I'm always looking for people with integrity. And so when I see a leader, I'm looking at someone who, one, has integrity. A great leader knows themselves, right? Someone that has confidence, because we cannot outperform a poor self-image. And if someone is insecure, it tells me that they might be good for a minute, right? But then they're going to turn into a toxic leader. So I look for somebody who is self-confident, who knows themselves, someone who's humbly confident. I look for somebody who loves what they do and loves people and like has this passion for what they do, not because they want to be the celebrity realtor. Too many times in this industry, we've celebrated these accomplishments, and they're like, I've heard a lot of top producers go and team leaders, I just want to be the celebrity realtor. I'm like, what? What does that even mean? Why? Because you're on the stage and not your team? I want our team to be the celebrity realtor. So I would say I'm looking for that. I'm also looking for a leader that's willing to adapt, leaders that are leading from the front. My brother would always say, don't be the last to stand up and the first to sit down. So a leader that's actually going to get in the weeds and not dictate and say, do this and do this and do this. And I want you to be my little minion. So those are the qualities that I look for in a leader. And also just a leader that's able to like take responsibility if they screw up. As a matter of fact, last week, this happened just last week, and in the last couple of weeks, we as leaders screw up all the time. I screw up all the time. I'm a D personality, so things just come out of my mouth. I don't have resting bitch face, but my mouth sometimes, right? My son calls it resting bitch voice. I have to like catch myself. And great leaders take accountability. And I had to go up to someone. This wasn't my fault. This was more his fault. But I was like, he's not going to say sorry. But I don't want to work in a toxic environment. So I went up to him and said, hey, can we start all over? Like, I'm going to take my accountability. Maybe I did this or that, but can we start all over? Because I respect you and I can learn a lot from you. So taking accountability and starting all over, because that's what leadership is about. We have to earn our leadership every day.
And saying that, you almost like put your ego, you check your ego at the door,
Right.
and have that humble conversation.
Right.
So Tanya, when you talk to all the teams and the leaders that you've coached over the years, if you could narrow down to the top couple complaints or struggles that they have in leading teams, what are some examples of that, and how do you see most of them like solving those challenges? I know that's kind of putting you on the spot, but
So
what do we complain about?
Oh, there's so many team leaders on here.
anything,
I'll just throw it. For me, it's how to keep those agents motivated. Like they say they
right.
want to do X, Y, and Z. They say they're going to make their calls, they're going to do their prospects, and then all of a sudden they don't do anything all day. Not all of them, but some of them they don't. And then they're like, where are all my closings? So maybe how do you get them, how do you, like you said, not babysit them and keep them motivated to
Right. So the question is what's the top complaint from leaders? The top complaint is they're tired of babysitting agents, they're tired of herding cats, right? But then the question is like, what are you doing? So that's the top complaint. They're also, like Amanda said, it's hard to motivate people, right? But here's the thing. John Maxwell says this, don't send your ducks to Eagle School. Some people just want to be ducks. So you have to, as team leaders, the problem is in this industry, we just hire warm bodies, right? Come on in, come on in, come on in. You look great, you look great, you look great. And then what happens is there's lack of leadership from there. They're just like, I'm super busy. Let me know how that works out for you. Call me if you need anything, right? So a lot of team leaders, they create their own problems. It's like self-sabotage. Like they bring all these people in, but they don't know how to lead them. So basically, they're not finding motivated people, right? They're hiring the wrong people. And like, how do you solve that? And they're just stressed the hell out, right? Just so you know, what I see with these leaders, they're making all the money they want. They're like, Tanya, I'm making all the money, I'm making 500,000, I'm making 200, I'm making 300, but I hate my job and I want to fire everyone. I'm like, once I do their disc test, right? Everyone has a disc test, but a lot of people have never had a coaching around their disc, right? And when you get coached around your discs, a lot of times you have created that mess. So they got to slow the Ferrari down. They got to be slow to hire and quick to fire, right? Slow to hire and quick to fire. However, some leaders, to solve it, they're so quick to fire, but what they've never done is they don't know their people. So the way to solve that is I basically, this is actually one of my favorite parts. So I take teams and I'll do a disc with the entire team. First the team leader, then all the team members, right? And then from there, I'm sorry, just so you know, if you ever do a disc coaching session, you will cry. Everyone tells me like, did you cry when you're with Tanya? And did you cry? And how does she know that? Part of how I know that is I'm a disc coach, but the other way that I know that is I'm you. I've had the same problems, right? Like I've gone off on people, I've been unorganized. It's just, I know how to solve that. But what I do is I'll take the team and I'll basically do a disc for the whole team. I'll do individual coaching sessions. And then what I do is I'll get the entire team together and then we look at everyone's discs, right? And the one thing that we find is people are in the wrong positions. Okay. One, people are in the wrong positions. Two, we find that the leader never really poured into them, or the leader didn't find someone to delegate. Like I love that, Amanda, when I talk to you, you have people in positions that help you, right? You have people that are in their strength zones, right? And when you find that they're not doing well, sometimes you realize that That's really not your strength zone. You just want to have fun and be rah rah, and you don't want to lead, right? You want to be the glue, but you don't want to lead, and that's okay. But the thing is it's also fun that like who's here is an introvert? Anybody an introvert here? This this has been my biggest aha. The extroverts usually don't like the introverts, and the introverts usually don't like the extroverts. So the extroverts are like, she's insecure, she doesn't do anything, or she's so sensitive. And the introverts are usually like, their ego is so big, they never shut up. And it's just like this, it's like this friction. But when I do a disc for people, we realize that we D's cannot run without the introverts. And the introverts all of a sudden feel like they have a purpose for the first time in their lives. And they feel like they actually have a voice. And then the extroverts basically get to realize that, like, I wouldn't be looking this good if it was not for my team. So that's one way to solve that is that. The other way to solve it is set up a 30, 60, 90 for your team. Like put it on the calendar when you hire them or when you do a reset. I'm all about a reset. You can start right now and you can say, we're going to do a 30, 60, 90, and we're going to say what's working, what's not working. What do I need to do as a leader to lead you better? So I can go on and on and on about that. But those are the steps.
Tanya, how do you, I mean, I'm asking this for myself and then maybe some other people on here need this, but how do you approach the reset with your team? So like I even mean kind of almost to the script level. Like how do you just pop into a team meeting one week and be like, hey, we're doing this? I mean, what do you have some recommendations?
Definitely don't go in and say, you all suck. I need you to get to my level. You know what? You call it a reset, right? It's a team reset. And you make it sound really exciting, right? But the way that you do it is it's almost like I call it a grand reopening, right? It is like when you guys hear me talk about with my keynote, it's Laura 2.0, it's Amanda 2.0, it's Team Legacy 2.0, right? What does Team Legacy 2.0 look like? And guess how you do that? You get them in a group and you first start with the good. I'm always like, let's start with some honey. What are we as a team doing well? Get a whiteboard out and be like, what are we doing well? Okay. And then you find out what you're doing well. And one of the things is you also edify those around you, right? So maybe you say, okay, so if Teddy's on your team, let's put Teddy's name up there. Everyone, I'm going to have you guys all go around and say, what do you like about Teddy? What is Teddy doing well? Okay. What is Hugh doing well? What is Loretta doing well? Because sometimes as a leader, we don't see what other people are doing and we can't celebrate their gifts or put them in the right place if we don't know what they're doing well. Okay. And then we get to the down and dirty. Okay. What do we need to improve on? Not what do we need to suck? What do we suck at? Because sometimes it's really what it is, but what do we need to improve on? Right? As a team, what do we need to improve on? And have everyone go around, and it's not a bitch session, right? One thing. I don't want to hear 20 things, right? We're just here to collaborate. It's all about collaboration, right? It's about growing together. It's about less stress, more success. And basically, if you have a team that you love right now and you believe in, and you know that you guys have more, bring the team into it. So have everybody go around and say, what is the number one thing that we can improve on as a team? Okay. So then you do that. The other thing is you guys have to redefine like who you are as a team. What is your mission? Who are you? And who you were when you started is maybe not who you are now. There's a saying that John Maxwell has, and I love it. Those who start with you seldom finish with you. Okay. Those who start with you seldom finish with you. And what does that mean as a team leader? It means that if you have a team member there, right, and they leave and they go on to another job or they go to another team or they go to another brokerage, it doesn't mean it's a personal attack on you. You have to celebrate those that are with you, even if you're like, this person's going to leave. They're going to surpass me. You have to celebrate that because guess what? Great leaders have great followers. And if you're going to be a leader, the highest compliment is that your people surpass you because of either your leadership or the team that you have in place. And you have to celebrate that. And when someone comes to you and says, I'm going to go to another brokerage or I'm going to go here, I'm going to go on my own, good for you. You know what? What can I do to support you? Okay. So basically, get people around, What are you doing? What are you not doing? What do you need to improve on? Celebrate those around you. And then here's the thing. You have to be okay having hard conversations, right? So rather than pulling somebody in and going, this is what you need to improve on, this is what you suck at, what you could do, and I don't know, this is a little gray, you can say, all right, so now that we have Teddy up here, okay, raise their hand. Not everybody has to raise their hand, but where do you think Teddy can improve? Because I believe in Teddy, right? And we're here, we're having hard conversations. We can't improve if we're not honest with each other. Anybody here, I want 2 to 3 people. Where do you think Teddy can improve? Okay. Where do you think Laura can improve? Okay, you guys, I'm here. I'm standing here as your leader. Where can I improve? Because if we don't have those hard conversations, what happens? Everyone talks behind each other's back, right? It creates a toxic workplace, it creates a toxic work environment. And most of the time, people do not get the opportunity to grow. They just don't. And so usually you're firing the people on your team without investing in them, and you're hiring new people. The thing is it's a green beret thing, right? There's 4 stages of team. It's forming, storming, norming, and performing. You're going to form as a team, right? This is the honeymoon stage. Oh my gosh, her disc was so good. She's going to make my life so easy. She's so cute. She has what I don't. Like, she likes people. I don't, right? This is awesome, right? Then what's going to happen is the honeymoon stage is over. Now you're storming, okay? Now you're having hard conversations. Maybe someone forgot to get an earnest deposit. Maybe they wrote the contract wrong. Maybe they like pissed off the client, right? And then now you're like, well, I'm going to fire this person, right? Or I don't like this person. I can't trust them. The storming stage is the beautiful, messy part. If you can go through the storming stage and as a leader and as a team, not just to like solve the problems as a team, but you can't solve the problems as a team if you're not having regular meetings. And if you're having meetings and you're just talking at people, that is not a good team culture, right? Like, hey, what's one problem we need to solve this week, right? Maybe that's a question. Hey guys, as a team, what's one problem our team needs to solve this week, right? Like, bring the team in. So then there's that storming stage. Then you get through the storming stage, you're like, okay, cool. We realize we're 2 different personality styles. We came at each other wrong. I made her cry. I went off, but we love each other, right? That's the D, right? Laura, I know you're making people cry over there. And then Amanda's like, let me just hug you, right? But really inside, she's like, I don't know if I like this person. And Laura and me are like, we need
I
to
don't
talk.
like you.
I don't,
Everyone.
I don't like you. I'm sorry, but if you need a hug, go to Amanda, right?
Right.
But then that's the storming stage. Then there's the forming, storming. Then you start normalizing as a team, right? And then you're getting into your battle rhythm and your flow of like, okay, we're good, we're good, we're good. And then you start performing, right? Like, everyone knows where their place is, what their perfect role is or whatever. But guess what? This is what happens with teams. Then someone else comes in, or the market changes, or some crazy thing happens. Then it goes back over again. So you have to be able to get through the forming, storming, norming, forming, storming, norming, performing stage. You got to be adaptable. You got to be able to like get back on it. So did that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Sorry, I get fired up about this stuff.
Love it. I love
No,
that you want to be brutally honest too. Like, it's okay for us to check our egos and say what's actually happening and have those hard conversations. You even schedule, like you said, 30, 60, 90. You pre-schedule those hard conversations before there's an issue. That way you're not like, hey, we need to talk in 2 weeks. Like, they already know what's happening, which I think is so proactive.
Right.
Okay, so you are a fellow book junkie, which is why I love you in my life. And you love leadership, you love personal development, you're always growing. What is some like a book that you would recommend for the group to read that has just been awesome to implement in your life?
The first book is Essentialism. It's the disciplined pursuit of less. I do like the audio because his voice is just so soothing. Um, he's British, and it's just, as realtors, we go all over the place and we just want to say yes to everything. But we have to learn, we have to say yes, say no to the good and say yes to the best, right? So much is coming at us like, oh, there's this shiny object here and there's this. This is where the disciplined pursuit of less is, do less. Prioritize your family because we're all here to have time for our family. And the problem is we get into real estate, and we don't have time for our family. And for me, with my widowmaker, like I was lucky that I didn't have the heart attack because I would have died. And I know that I remember we had like 22 transactions in a month and I was in Hawaii. I don't even remember it because we were writing contracts. Like you have to be able to um, prioritize your health, your family, and like say no to the dumb meetings, right? Or maybe if you have meetings, I think sometimes meetings are way too long. Like, let's have them a half an hour. Let's have them 15 minutes. What's working, that's what's not working. Let's move on. I think we're just in too many meetings. So I would say that one. The other one, which I love, is the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth from John Maxwell. We're constantly reading these business books, but we need to work on ourselves, right? To know ourselves is to grow ourselves. And if we want to be a better leader and not be toxic, we have to know what's the law of the mirror, what's the law of intention, what's the law of reflection, the law of pain. And, whenever you're ready, I do have a mastermind that I do every week for women, and it is the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth for Women in Real Estate.
That's awesome. Tell us more about that.
Well, me and my co-partner, Laura Malik, are doing 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth for Women in Real Estate. And really what it is you don't need any more leads. You need more you. Okay. So when we have more leads, a lot of times we have less us and less amazing qualities that God designed us to have. And we forget to have fun, right? In this business, like real estate should be fun. We forget to take time for ourselves. We forget to work on some of the traumatic things that have happened in our business and our lives, or, in this business, there's a lot of severed relationships, right? We forget to reconcile those or just deal with it. And we forget to also just make our create habits in our day because we're just putting out fires all the time. So that's actually once a week. Every Wednesday, I think it's from 11 to 12:30. You can go on my Facebook page if you guys don't have my Facebook page there. It is for women at this point. I do one for teams. So that's one, I'll do that for teams. If they hire me, I'll put their whole team through that mastermind and we grow together. So that's probably one of my favorite books of all time. Because when I start feeling gross, right, and I start feeling like I need help, I go straight to that book and I'll teach it because I want to lead it and I want to be it.
That's awesome. I'm going to ask you this in two parts because I think people always ask, how do you manage stress? And I think we think about downtime away from work, but in work, how do you manage stress? And then in your personal life, how do you manage stress?
How do I manage stress in my work? So one thing that I have been really focused on is I only take projects on that I like now, right? Like everyone calls me and like, Tanya, I wanted you to be a part of this and part of this and part of this. And it's so exciting to be chosen, right? You're like, oh my gosh, I was chosen. But you have to be careful because you don't want to be seduced by every opportunity, right? Because for every yes, there's a no, right? You're saying no to something else. So how do I reduce stress in work is I am only working with people that I like, people that I love. Like you guys, the two of you and our Grow Leadership group, like you guys make me laugh. I can cry with you. I can laugh with you. You guys call me, you can cry with me. Like I have to go deep with people that I love and people that I work with. The other thing is, for me personally, if we don't share the same values, I can like you, but if we don't share the same values and we do not treat people with respect and ourselves with respect, like I know that I don't want to be around someone that's crushing it, but they're just a hot mess because that stuff rubs off on me. So I'm really actually good at not having toxic people in my life besides, sometimes relationships. That was a that was a thing, but that's goodbye, right? I'm like,
Another class for another day, right?
but that's a class for another day. I don't know what it
We
is.
should do one of those, Tanya.
We should totally do that. That could be our new podcast, you guys.
Yeah.
Um, Anyways, so it's really about the people that you choose in your life and the people that you choose on your team, right? And so in so that's for business. I would just say that from a simple term is I don't allow toxic people in my life. And here's the other thing about stress with toxic people. I had somebody super close to me. I'm not going to say who it is, but very close to me. And actually it was my daughter. And she was sending me all these things because she was in a scarcity mindset, doom and gloom. And what I told her is, I love you, but I haven't watched the news for 15 years. And I focus on positivity. And like, I will schedule an hour or half hour to talk about what you want to talk about. But do not send me toxic things. Do not talk about toxic things all the time because and anyone in my life, if they're super toxic, I'll let them get it out, but I don't stay there. And I don't have people in my life that are constantly toxic. Not to say that we're not, because if someone will call me and they'll be like, uh, I don't have anything good to say right now. I'm just warning you. So you can hang up or you can just hear me vent because I vent. But I think that's the biggest thing. You have to protect your mental health and your emotional health. And as much as we think that we're not like internalizing these things, we do. Our subconscious mind is just taking it in. So going back to personal, what I do for personal, I move more to be more. I'm constantly moving my body. I also think change your environment to change your life. Sometimes I personally will get into a funk and I'm like, wow, I need to change my desk. Or maybe I actually need to go into the office now. Or maybe I need to just get into other rooms. Like who I'm with right now, they don't inspire me anymore, right? Those who start with you seldom finish with you. They did inspire me, but they're in a funk. Like I have to find the energy. So for me, I'm constantly seeking positive energy. I'm constantly seeking people that are growing, not dying, right? They're thriving, not surviving. So I'm really proactive about that. And then the last thing is, this is really funny. I'm an extrovert turned introvert. Some of you may not think that, but I really like my time alone. Like I'll go on 10, 20-mile bike rides alone. I'll go snowboarding alone. Like I need time with my own thoughts and I give myself to everybody. But for me, with my heart surgery and like the Widowmaker, like I love reading, like an actual book. Like Amanda, I love reading a book. Um, and my faith. I'm super solid in my faith. And when I'm feeling really anxious, I realize that I haven't opened up my Bible or I haven't done my devotions. Um, and then I'll just say one last thing. All the people in my life that are in my business, they're better than me. I surround myself with people better than me. You're either hotter than me, you make more money than me, you're smarter than me, you're doing things that are so cool that scare me sometimes because I'm like, how can I be that? I just like being around people that just make me look good and makes me want to be better.
Awesome.
And you two are two of those people. Like I just adore you guys and you guys, I always think about you guys and you make me better.
We
Well,
love
thank you.
you.
And I think it's important to tell people like behind the scenes for me, the relationship that I have with you, that's important, I think, for people that don't have this in this industry is to find people that they don't have to be nearby you, but they need to be somebody that you can get something from that you don't have in your life. And then it's not it's okay to build a personal connection with people that you meet from a business setting. So like with you, like when my brother was going through his divorce, like you and I connected over that, and he happened to be in Colorado, and you happened to be in Colorado, and it was crazy because we met in this real estate mastermind, and next thing you know, you're like my, brother like support system in another state, and it's funny how you can build connections with people in this industry, and if you're not scared to get vulnerable and get to know people in a deeper way that can help you grow in other parts of your life, you might be missing out on all these blessings because you're not comfortable, you're afraid to be vulnerable, or you don't think it's maybe appropriate, like to make a connection with somebody about something totally different than how you met them.
Well, Brene Brown says vulnerability is the new sexy.
Mm,
And sometimes you'll call me and I'll just start crying. Like you guys have seen me cry hard. Or
yes.
I'll just call you and you're like, I really needed, did you feel me today?
Yeah.
And it's like so awesome to have that.
Yeah.
Something that I took away from you that I now implement in my world is she always says it's either a heck yeah, or she says the other. It's either heck yeah or it's a no. And so just like you say no to the good so you can say yes to the great. Like if it's not a heck yeah, I'm so pumped up. I can't wait to do this. I go to bed thinking about this. I wake up thinking about this. Then it's a no because there's so many opportunities. And that's been a huge filter for me on being able to say yes to stuff that I'm so passionate about. And being able to wake up excited and work with the people that I love rather than going, oh, this person's gonna call me, or oh, this person needs something from me. Like really, you don't have this stress anymore because you're surrounded by awesome people and you're doing what you love. So I think, yeah, if you guys take anything away, do that. If it's not a heck yeah, it's a no.
But it also means it doesn't mean it's a no, it's a not now, right? Sometimes it's just a not now. Like it's not a hell yes for me. And why would it's a disservice to the other person if you're not in, right? You're either all in or you're all out.
Well, and taking it back to teams, like I mean, I guess let's circle that back. I actually did that accidentally recently, and I guess I didn't really know I did it until y'all just put it in that context. When you're talking to people about being on your team, it's okay to set the expectation that this has to be a right fit for both of us. And I've set the expectation that this might be a no.
Yep.
And it's okay, like you said, maybe it's a not now. Maybe a fit for my team is going to be good for you in the future, or maybe it's just not at all. And I think that's really important because we do tend to invite people into our lives that we're trying to be nice, or we want it to work, or we're excited. And then we set ourselves up as leaders for conflict, that you could have prevented.
Right. And I always say, like, we need to have the courage to say no, right? And there's this question you have to ask yourself, do I want to be respected or do I want to be liked? Right?
Mm.
So whenever my son would walk out the door, I'm like, make good choices. Do you want to be respected or do you want to be liked? And people respect the fact that you're like, you know what? Hey, thank you for thinking of me. Like, I am so happy and I feel honored that you thought of me, but it's just not the right timing for me right now. Can we circle back? Like, I know we had 5 conversations about it in 5 hours, but I just don't have peace around it right now. Or I need to finish what I started. But I really like you. Let's talk in the first quarter. I'm all about the 12-week year. Like, just say, you know what? I just need to get through this quarter. Call me October 1st. Or I need to get through this quarter. Call me January 1st. And if we stay on our quarters and we go, I'm just going to finish this quarter. I'm going to finish what I started. Let's talk next quarter. That's the 12-week year. That's the 90-day year. So that helps too, because it's like, I'm practicing the 90-day year. I love you, but it's just not now.
Love that.
I want to open this up for people because there's a lot of, team leaders and people on here that I think could learn from you. Who has questions for Tanya? It can be production related, coaching related, leadership related, really anything. She's got so much life experience.
Or a challenge, something you're going through.
Hey Tanya, it's Teddy.
Hi,
Um,
Teddy.
if you think you were a born leader but lost it somehow, how do you get that back? And so like you, right, in sports, I was always captain through high school, whatever. But I find in business, I have a sports mentality and not necessarily a business mentality. So I struggle with figuring out how to lead there versus, grabbing somebody by the face mask and saying, let's do it. You know, how do you do that in real estate?
So if you think you're a born leader and you lost it, how do you get that back?
Yeah.
It's very simple. You have to sign up for something hard. And something hard could be, I always go back, especially if you're an athlete, right? I go back to, I'm like, I'll look and be like, I'm gonna sign up for something. Is there a 5K around here? Is there a 12-hour go ruck? Is there something that's going to challenge me physically? Because when you challenge yourself physically, it gets you into that mindset of you got to get up, you got to go, you have to show up. So for me, from an athlete's perspective, I do that. The other thing is you need to lead something, right? So if you're a born leader, you need to call Amanda if you're on the legacy team and you just need to be, I want to lead something. And she's going to go, okay, let's do it. And maybe you're saying, you know what? I like to lead people that have that athletic mindset, and I'm going to lead a motivational mastermind every week. Or you know what? I have a signature talk in me, or I'm really good at FISBOs. Sign up to lead something, because when you sign up to lead something, you have to show up. You have to prepare. You have to show up. You want to walk the walk instead of talk the talk. So I'd say sign up for something hard and show up and sign up to lead something. That's the fastest way for you to get your mojo back, in my opinion.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see what that's going to be, Teddy. That's exciting.
Yeah, let me know. I want to hear it.
Um,
Who else has questions?
How do you do your 30, 60, 90s, Tanya? Because I know that's a struggle for me. The first struggle for me is well, the commitment and then like following through with it because I'm a DI. But when you're actually in the 30, 60, 90s, like give everybody like a summary of how you hold those meetings and what do you say? What do you ask? Like what are your
Okay, so with the 30, 60, 90, first thing is you got to put it on the calendar now. Like, okay, 30 days from here, 30 days from here, 30 days from there, put the Zoom link. Okay. It's on the calendar and everybody knows, hey, we're going to meet in 30 days and we're going to go over what's working, like what's not working. Hey, what's working? Hey, well, first of all, you celebrate them, right? Start celebrating them. Hey, I appreciate you being on the team. Maybe you don't see me that often, but I want you to know that this is what I appreciate about you, right? So celebrate them, okay? And then start with what do you think is working in your business right now, okay? And then go to what do you think isn't working? Like, and then ask them, like, what are some of your goals? And then the last one is what can I do better as a team leader? And you need to give them permission. Like let's just be black and white here, right? I need to know I can't be a great leader if I don't know, right? And you need to give them permission, like you're never available, or you're just so unorganized, or you said you were going to lead me and I'm not getting any leadership from you, right? So this is your chance to tell me where I can be better. The other thing that I do is I do have it, I'll send this to you guys because you were with Amanda and Laura, is I also go over the focus. So I have a PDF and we put the focus of the day. What's the focus of the day, right? Is it learning the systems? And then I go through the priority of the day, right? So then I break it into 3 parts. They're performance goals. What are 3 performance goals that you want to hit, right? And then I put the metric there. And someone will say, you know what? You have to remember, like with real estate, they're like, what are your 3 to 5 year goals? Like most people are like, I don't even know what I'm gonna have for breakfast tomorrow. Like, let's just focus on 30 days. Like, yes, here's the thing. Here are my goals for the year. Let's break those up into months. Okay, let's break that up into quarter and let's break those up into months. If you go in and help people reach their 30-day goals, they're going to reach their annual goals and they're going to get that much closer. So go over the performance goals. What are 3 performance goals they want? Maybe a performance goal is they want to sell this many homes. Maybe they want to get this many contacts. Or maybe a performance goal is I really need to use my CRMs, or maybe it's social media, right? I want to post regularly. I want to do videos regularly. The next one is learning goals. What are 3 learning goals? And since it's 30 days, maybe it's 1 learning goal. What do you want to learn and what's your metric? You know what? I actually want to learn about foreclosures. Okay, well, what's that metric? I'll get through like a class this month, right? Or a learning goal might be I really want to learn YouTube, right? So then we go into personal goals, right? You can't lead your team if you don't know your team, because leading your team isn't always leading your team in performance. Like if you know your team and you know they're not showing up to meetings, something might be happening in their life. They might be going through a divorce. They might be going through a depression. Depression's at its all-time high right now. So when you meet with your team, I like to do this if you know your team. Hey, tell me where you're at with your mental health. On a scale from 1 to 10, where are you at with your mental health? And then they say 7, and you go, what do we need to do to get it to a 10? Okay. So when I have a call with my son who had a mental health crisis when he was in 9th grade, now he's doing well. And every Wednesday I talk to him, I'm like, mental health check, 1 through 10, where are you? Rather than going, how are you? Are you depressed? right? People seem to respond with that. And I don't know how close you are to your team, but personal goals could be like, give me some of your personal goals. I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay. In 30 days, let's talk about what that metric is. I want to spend more time with my kids. You know what? I haven't seen my husband. I really want to start some date nights. So that's the 30, 60, 90. And then from there, I have a section that said, when you meet with them again, what worked this last 30 days? What didn't work? What does the next 30 days look like? It's not perfect. You guys could take this and I'll give you the template and you can switch it around, but it's a system, right? It's a system to open up a conversation with people. And you guys know me. I've asked you guys, we'll start our meetings and be like, mental health check 1 through 10, where are you guys? I just think that we need to go deeper with the relationships. And if we have team members, we owe it to them to know who they are and how to help them.
That's awesome.
This was incredible, Tanya. Thank you so much for bringing so much value. I've got a whole page of notes, and I'm going to start implementing that 30, 60, 90 with our leaders and our team. I think that's awesome. And like you said, how can we lead them if we don't know what they need and what they're looking for? Does anyone else? We have room for maybe one more question. Now we'll close this out.
And I would love anybody, like, this is a ladies mastermind, so I'd love for you guys to join us this next week. We're doing the law of the mirror and the law of reflection tomorrow. And we have a workbook as well. And we cannot outperform our low self-image. And as leaders, we need to constantly work on our confidence to lead other people. We owe it to them.
I love that. Well, y'all message me if you have questions on getting on that. It's tomorrow, 11 to 12:30 Mountain Time, 10 Pacific. So I'm putting the link in here one more time. And we do this every single Tuesday, 10 a.m. Central. Our next week, we're going to be interviewing Michael Bass, which will be kind of fun. He's like the king of follow-up and referrals, and he'll teach us how to build a business based on that. So thank you all for coming today. We want to always bring value and pour into you and help you grow your business. And thank you, Tanya, for your time. We really are so thankful and appreciate you.
Thank you for having me on. Have a good day, guys.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.